Hi guys, today I'm gonna tell you about the op-amps that I came up with, and those are 4 different designs, and I'm gonna tell you about those and why I designed them. First of all, those are not discrete ones. I came up with different kind of op-amps. Those are off-the-shelf op-amps that I picked, that I chose, that I've listened to and tested, but there's multiples of them. So there's like 2 op-amps in this case of Supersonic V1, 2 op-amps in this case of Supersonic V2, 4 op-amps in the Hypersonic, and 8 op-amps in the Brute Force One op-amp. The op-amps are connected in a parallel, so they're basically like bridged op-amps, and there's still some circuitry that need to stabilize them. But what it does, it lowers the distortion, that's one benefit, but the biggest benefit is it multiplies the output drive of the op-amp by the number of op-amps used. So you've got 8 times the drive capability for your last stage of the amplifier, the power amp. Since the op-amps are used in the preamp has way more current output and can control the power amp way better, which results in the sound that is more dynamic, more refined, richer, denser, more holographic, and yeah, overall a better sound. So think about that as if you multiply the engines in the car. Instead of one engine like 200 horsepower, instead of going for one engine like 400, you've got like 8 times 200 horsepower. So the power comes from multiplication of the amplifiers. There's also the drawback. The drawback is, as you can see, I wasn't able to leave the op-amps just like that. They would go to like 100 degrees, and 100 degrees Celsius is way too much for that to be stable. It's within the working temperature of this op-amp because it can work up to 125 degrees Celsius, but why don't we cool them down? So I came up with aluminum radiators that are mounted with thermal paste to the surface of the op-amps, and the radiator size depends of course on the op-amp size, because the more internal op-amps combines for one of those, the higher the heat output. The heat comes from the current draw. So this device, one of those op-amps, draw like 0.3 amps, which is 5 times what this one with 2 op-amps draws. And you have to remember about that because the preamplifier circuits in the amps most of the times use very common stabilizers like 15 volts, and they are rated at 1 amp to work properly, because the standard op-amps, the black ones, little cubes that you're used to, they draw like 1/100th of what this does. So there never was a need to build a powerful power supplies for the preamplifiers. Any device that is any good will handle 2 of those for sure, and even with the FOSI ZA3 in here, I'm using 2 of those per one device because its stabilizer is like 0.8 amps and this is 0.3, so 2 of those will work. So in this video I will present you how do they compare against one another, and I'm using the FOSI ZA3 and I'm using them in dual mono mode. I've taken out the FOSI ZA3 from their original enclosures, mounted them on steel plates with thermal glue so that they work as radiators, and I have very easy job in switching op-amps and testing them. So I will switch in between the Brute Force One, the Hypersonics, Supersonic V2 and Supersonic V1, and yeah, we will use the XLR outputs of the T+A DAC 200. So for best listening experience, put on your analytical headphones or listen to the video on your loudspeakers. One more thing, if you're using YouTube app, it adds another level of compression. It's way better to paste this link into your browser like Chrome or Safari on your phone and listen via the browser, because the app, for some reason, it sucks a lot and it averages everything like crazy. Okay, so without further ado, let's listen to the samples.
Hey, you couldn't see it coming. You might have thought it, but you couldn't change it. Hey, it's not right or wrong. It's about trying, find the silver lining. Rain and fire, highs and lows, you name it. Cold and warmth, laughs and cries, you have it. The world goes by, and by the time it does, you missed it. You didn't see it, flew by. 'Cause time's not waiting for me or you. You will miss it if you don't catch it in time. In time. Say yes rather than no. Don't let your fears lead. Light is at your feet. Yes, regret is worse than failing. Keep the loved ones close, close enough. Rain and fire, highs and lows, you name it. Cold and warmth, laughs and cries, you have it. The world goes by, and by the time it does, you missed it. You didn't see it, flew by. 'Cause time's not waiting for me or you. You will miss it if you don't catch it in time. In time. In time.
I woke up in the middle of the night. Na, na, na. And I wondered how you're always right. It gets me. I couldn't see what you saw in me. Ooh, na, na, na. But you showed me how to believe. Still gets me. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to step in. And I'll never understand how you saw it coming. Oh, but I will love you for it all. Yeah, I will love you for it all. It is hard to share my thoughts. Na, na, na. It's like cutting a wound in a bleeding heart. It gets me. Just give me some time, 'cause I need to know that you're staying. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to step in. And I'll never understand how you saw it coming. Oh, but I will love you for it all. When I look back, I can see you're hiding, waiting for a moment to.
So, did you manage to hear the differences? Because from what I hear in my listening room, the Supersonic V1 is a very nicely balanced op-amp. It sounds rich with a great bass, very nice dynamics. It's open, but not overly bright and detailed. So if you like the natural sound with a tendency to get a little bit warm, then this is one of the best op-amps you can get at the moment. The Supersonic V2, it uses the different chip. This chip on its own is more dynamic, there's more attack, there's more detail, there's way better holography, soundstage width and depth and presence. It's not as analog sounding as the Supersonic V1. However, it's faster, it's quicker, it's more present, more room filling, and if you like that kind of presentation, you should go for this one. Then we go to the Hypersonic. Hypersonic is a mix of the Supersonic V1 and V2, because there's 4 instead of 2 op-amps in the Hypersonic. That means that another level of op-amps add another level of richness, darkness, black background, bigger scale, bigger attack, bigger bass, and it adds this lower mid-range and makes the op-amp sound fuller while remaining amazing soundstage, presence with soundstage and things like that. Then there's the Brute Force One. I wouldn't go for the Brute Force One for enclosed devices. I believe this is a great op-amp if you want to experiment with squeezing 100% out of any HiFi amps. From what I hear, with the Brute Force One, these op-amps get to another level in my opinion. They are very rich, very punchy, because Class D is very speedy, fast at its own, and what it really does need is something to make them sound a little bit richer and a little bit more organic. And that op-amps are amazing for that, to experiment, to check them out, and yeah, going for both of them for the XLR or if you don't need XLR, you just need basically 2 op-amps for a stereo. So that's a good way to go as well. And yeah, I like it very much. Okay, so let me know in the comments which op-amp did you like, and if you would like to pre-order them, I have some stock here. Our next batch will take about 3 weeks, so if you would like to pre-order them, it's a great time to try because there's a discount for the Black Week. So if you go to my website, the virtualhifi.com, that you can find the link in the description, you can check them out, and if you would like to experiment and try them, and if you would like to support this channel and my journey into the audio world that I share with you guys, I'll be very grateful if you order some to try. So I'm looking forward to your comment, and if you're interested, go to virtualhifi.com and you can find them out there. So thank you for your time, and I see you in my next video.